Hello you lovely people and welcome. In today's video I will be showing you the Autopilot INS alignment, waypoint input and the basic radio navigation using VOR, ILS and TACAN. Now for this we need to use the BDHI, which is a bearing distance heading indicator. We've got three sections here that are operable. These four here, which VAD, Rho and Theta and Tel, are not operable at this moment. So the first nav is for radio navigation, and everything put into the VOR ILS will show up on the BDHI. The second one is what we're going to be using in the first flight, is the INS and waypoints, and the third one obviously is TACAN. The first one, you follow the thin arrow for the INS, big arrow, and TACAN is also big arrow, and it'll give you bearing. Also show up on the HUD as well. So now to get our coordinates for the INS, we need to go to insplanner.miltechsimulations.com. If we refresh this and press start, you see it says M2K flight plan, and basically I'm just going to do the most simplistic, as what you probably just see before I cleared it. We're going to take off from Coningsby and go to RAF Cranwell up to RAF Wellington. Basically my normal flight plan was what I would do in the world page, South Ormsby, and then down to Holton Holgate sort of area here, and then back to good old Coningsby. Now as you can see, we've got 6 waypoints. These are click and drag, and you can also delete from here, so if I wanted to get rid of that, just click it. If I wanted to add, just click. So we'll get rid of waypoint 5, and we'll come back to, where is it, Holton Holgate here, waypoint 5, and Coningsby there. So these are our waypoints ready to be put in. Just drag it out slightly so we've got a nice rectangle. Okay, so I'm going to drag this off screen, but we're going to be inputting all of that information into the INS. Now let's break down the INS a little bit. As you can see, we've already got coordinates here, but they're waypoint 0, which isn't a proper waypoint. It'll give us the altitude of that said waypoint, but it won't show up in our flight plan. And if we come down to DRLT, you can get bearing nautical miles, and if we come down to TRVR, gives us our estimated time of arrival and our ground speed. So go back to longitude latitude. Now to get our first waypoint in, we need to press prep, which will clear our waypoint there. Put in 0, 1, and that will clear the coordinates. And this is where we're going to put in the coordinates that we've just made on our flight plan. Now to do this, for longitude, latitude, press N, or north or south here to change whatever one you want to use. Majority of flights are north, and then we've got east and west to choose from here. So I'm going to click north, and now we're going to input our digits. So 530534, enter. Now we're going to choose between east and west, and it's west 0000956, enter. And then we're going to go into altitude. Now we can either input that via feet or meters, either pressing 1 or 3. So I'm going to press 1, and by default I just put the altitude for my waypoints as 100 feet. We're going to enter that, come back up, then we're ready to put in waypoint 2. I'll show you one more and then I'll speed it up because it can get a bit tedious. So 53 0149. Okay, so we'll enter that in now. West 000 2860. 2860. Enter that. Again, come down to altitude, put it in 100 feet, enter. Back up. Okay, so I'll speed it up from now so I get this done and get into the flight. Okay, so we've got all our waypoints in now. All there is to do now is to align it, and we'll do that in just a second. We'll get the aircraft started first and make sure everything is good to go. Okay, the engine is settled. Okay, so we're going to align the INS. So, come over here to operational mode. We're going to put that in STS. Now you'll see that everything is clear across the top, and we've got 100. 100 means it is not aligned. Okay, so what we're going to do is come over to our PCN selector, and we've got two choices. We've got ALN, which is align. This is the proper way of doing it. It'll take about 3 minutes. If you want to fully immerse yourself into a real sort of setup, then that'll be for you. If you want a quick 3-second alignment, then go to ALCM. So we've got a choice there. So ALCM, and you'll see that we have ALN flashing there, and the validate button is lit up. All we do is press validate. 3, 2, 1, cleared. Okay, all the zeros, that means everything is aligned. Now we can put that to nav, put this back into N for normal. Now, come into the second nav part there, and we're going to choose waypoint 1. Waypoint 1 is chosen over here, press that. As you can see, the arrow is pointing straight in front of us, and it's 0.2 nautical miles away. Got 0.2 nautical miles on there, and we have a little upside down house arrow there, which is showing us where the waypoint is, which means everything's aligned nicely and we are ready to go. So we're going to take the parking brake off and make our way down to the end of the runway, and I'm just going to speed that up now. Right. Okay, let's get ready to roll out. I'm going to stop here. Okay, so waypoint 1 is plumbed in. We can change that at any time, as you can see. Going through each waypoint, BDHI changes. Let's get back to waypoint 1. Waypoint 1 obviously is Coningsby's runway, so I'm not too fussed about that one. Just get ourselves lined up with that. As you can see, the upside down house arrow thing is there. 0.7 nautical miles away. Just there. So I'm going to change to waypoint 2, which is Cranwell. You can see it's changed there, 13 nautical miles away, and we are just going to get up and do this. So throttle all the way up, brakes off, reheat on, rotating now. Gear up. Reheat off. Keep it low. As you can see, we're right on the waypoint there. Just going to follow that all the way down. Now the waypoints won't change automatically, so you will have to keep switching. Bit of side wind going on today. Change that now to waypoint 3. I accidentally hit waypoint 1. There we go. So you can see the BDHI now is pointing north. 7.2 nautical miles away. Will show up shortly. There it is, almost dead down the runway. Okay. So getting down to 1 nautical mile away from the waypoint, so we'll change to waypoint 4. You see BDHI has changed, we're 21 nautical miles away. We go on a heading of 070. It's a bit aggressive, Jesus. Climb too high. Waypoint now to waypoint 5. heading into some ice. Set my temperatures. Start slowing down now because we'll start heading in towards common speed shortly. Okay, change that waypoint. 10 miles an hour. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch over to ILS. So I'm going to put in 111.1015, sorry. I'm going to change this back to our first option. As you can see, I'm now getting steering headings and distance to the runway. Don't get any glide slope indication, just bearing and distance. Get those air brakes out. Switch on the approach brackets. Get geared down now, we're below 250 knots. So we've got 2 bits of traffic, 5 nautical miles out. Parachute ready for deployment. The idea is to get your AOA indicator here in the brackets. This represents your throttle. If it's above the AOA, you're going too fast. Got lovely side wind. Way too quick. On approach, it feels like your aircraft's stuck in ground effect. Air brakes out, parachute deployed. Okay, so that was aligning the INS, setting up your waypoints, and flying the flight plan. Okay, next is our basic navigation. Right, so I've reset the flight, and now we have no flight planning, and we're just going to use VOR, ILS and a TACAN to do some basic navigation. So we're going to fly to Gamston, which is on 112.80. Okay, and we've got nothing on the BDHI at the moment, but we'll get a signal once we're up in the air. Just make sure everything's ready to roll, which it is. Okay, so we can now throttle up, brakes off, reheat on. Rotate. Gear up. Okay, as you can see now, the thin needle is now pointing where we need to go, and we're 30 nautical miles away. So let's make a beeline for that. Okay, we're going to level out now. and we're going to use the autopilot to keep us nice and steady. Just turn the temperature up so we don't freeze up. So okay, over this side, as we're not, I don't need to show you anything else at the moment. The drums are counting down, so we're going to use the autopilot. So click autopilot. I find that the nose pitch is up, but if we hit out hold again, it will level out on the altitude that we want. And if we change this one here, which is our heading bug, we change that to where we want that pointing, click nav, and now we will follow the heading bug wherever that points to. So if I want to turn, it will turn. And under here we've got some drums here that you can change the altitude on. We're a bit high, I want to be back down at 2,000 feet. You click that, it will start descending. And we'll go back down to 2,000 feet. Once we get to Gamston, I'm going to change the frequency to Ottringham, which is on 113.900, and then we'll turn on to that, and then we will head back to Coningsby on TACAN 48 X-ray. You can see we're now approaching down to 2,000 feet, going way too fast. There's nothing automatic about anything on this aircraft. You have to manually input, which is great. You have to work the aircraft. How far out are we now? 4 nautical miles. So this is Gamston here. So we're going to switch the frequency to 113.900. Okay, you can see the arrow now pointing in a different direction. We're 38.9 nautical miles away from that. Slow it down for the turn. Right heading, we throttle back up again. while I've got some time to kill, I might as well explain the RWR. So if you come down to the radar panel here, click this switch here that says traffic from left to right. It'll activate the RWR. This is the most like an RWR I've seen on any plane in Flight Sim so far. So it will show all traffic. I'm not sure what the furthest reaches are. I'm guessing around about 40 nautical miles. This circles the critical zone, that's 20 nautical miles. And when anything enters that zone, it is represented with an upside down chevron and how far it is away from you. So 10 nautical miles. Can't see any traffic. Oh, but everything's just disappeared. It would do because I'm talking about it. How strange. Anyway, as I said, I believe it's 40 nautical mile total. There we go, got someone else popping up. Once they enter the critical zone, it goes from a dot to a upside down chevron, and then a count will count down or count up the number of nautical miles away they are from you. Doesn't give an altitude though. Okay, so we're 13 nautical miles away from Otteringham, which is around about here. So I'm going to get the TACAN ready for going back to Coningsby, so 48 X-ray. You can change, if you want a Yankee frequency, you can click here, that'll change it. And what we're going to need to do is change this part of the BDHI to TAC. Get over the Humber. So the beacon for the Otteringham VOR is in amongst these trees somewhere. What we're going to do now is change this over to TACAN. Okay, we're following the big needle now. We're 35 nautical miles away. So we're just going to turn the heading bug. That. We're going to detune the VOR. These drums over here represent the bingo fuel. So rotating it up and down will change that. Keep it at 5. Actually no, we'll keep it at 4. Once it hits 400 kilograms, we will get an alert. Beautiful sunrise, I will say. Okay, this guy's 20 nautical miles away. Once he gets out the critical zone, he'll turn into a dot. Very simplistic, but a great way of representing the RWR. we're showing traffic 16 nautical miles away, and showing it on the RWR, so it does show up on the head-up display as well. Looks like he's lower than me. I think he might be heading straight for me actually. We could be at Coningsby. Yeah, more likely at Coningsby, which is just here. It was on the ground down there. Okay, we can slow it down now. We take off the autopilot. Okay, I'm going to put in, take off that on the TACAN. I'm going to put in 111.15, which is the Coningsby ILS. Now, on the autopilot, there is a glide slope button, which is this one here, but it's not operable at the moment. So there's no way of getting glide slope information up on the HUD. Click the approach for the approach bars. Right, okay. Now if we switch our functionality back up to first nav section there, you'll see that we now have bearing distance, so it'll take you to the ILS, basically like the lateral part of the localizer, and it won't get you down to the ground though. That's all got to be manual. Let's get below 250 knots. Okay, it's going to be a steep one. Gear down. Shoot out ready. Well, shoot ready anyway. .2 nautical miles away from the ILS, 0.1. There we go, that's basic navigation, TACAN, VOR, ILS, autopilot. So I hope you got something from that. And if you got this far, thank you for watching, and as always, take care, and I'll catch you in the next one.